words, as we've studied before, it's the church taking the sword of the state to punish dissenters who are not in harmony with her. And the sword that the church used, the sword of the state that the church used to kill, would be the sword that would arise to give her the deadly wound. In other words, the deadly wound is nothing less or more than taking away from the hand of the church the sword of the state. In other words, the state was going to turn against the church that had used the power of the state to persecute people who did not agree with the church. Now the question is, how did the papacy obtain the sword? Well, between the year 300 and the year 476 AD, there were a series of barbarian invasions into the Roman Empire. The last Roman emperor was Romulus Augustulus, and he was deposed in the year 476. There was no more emperor in Rome. As a result, Rome became a kingdom without a ruler. Everything was turned upside down. The empire was in disarray, in a chaotic situation. And in this chaotic situation, the barbarian kingdoms enticed the Bishop of Rome to bring law and order to the empire. And he accepted not only the role of being the spiritual leader of these kingdoms, but also the civil or the political leader of these same nations. Allow me to read you some very interesting statements written by historians about this event. Notice, this is from Cardinal Henry Edward Manning, a cardinal of the Roman Catholic Church. He explains what happened when the empire fell apart. He says, the pontiffs found themselves alone, the sole fountains of order, peace, law, and safety. And from the hour of this providential liberation, when by divine intervention, at least he believes so, when by divine interventions, the chains fell off from the hands of the successor of Peter. What happened when the successor of Peter, as he calls him, took over the reins of the civil government? What happened? The chains what? Fell off. So he says, when by divine intervention the chains fell off from the hands of the successor of St. Peter, as once before from his own, no sovereign has ever reigned in Rome except the vicar of Jesus Christ. He further states this: the papacy waited until such a time as God should break its bonds asunder. So the papacy, while Rome was in place and governing, was what? Restrained. Because he says it waited until such a time as God should break its bonds asunder. And should liberate it, listen to this, and should liberate it from subjection to civil powers.